Hi guys, welcome back to the workshop channel. My name's Harrison and today in this video we are going to be repairing this iPhone SE that I picked up for £4 on eBay. It was listed as 4 parts and by swapping out the screen I was able to figure out that it's a completely functional iPhone SE, so I got an absolute bargain. We're going to be repairing it and swapping it out for this space grey housing that I picked up for £10 also on eBay, and hopefully get it into slightly better condition than what's it's in now. Also, forgot to mention, hope you had a fantastic Christmas, and it's 2021 now, so. Before I even think about opening the device, I first need to remove the SIM tray. In order to do that, I've got this tiny little SIM tray remover. I'm just going to pop it out to make sure that when I'm removing the motherboard, I don't have any resistance. It's a good idea while you're working on a device like this to keep all your parts and screws organised on something like a magnetic project mat. It just keeps everything nice and neat and you know where everything goes when you put it back together. I've changed the shot a bit so that you can get a better look at what I'm going to be doing. For the next parts, you'll want to make sure that you're wearing your anti-static or ESD wristband, just to make sure that you don't shock or kill any of the components in the device that you're working on. Now take a P2 pentalobe screwdriver and remove the 2 screws at the bottom of the device. Remember, make sure to fully utilise your magnetic parts mat. An extra step I like to take, but that you don't have to, is to take some isopropyl alcohol and a cotton bud and just give your screen a good clean to make sure there's no fingerprints or grease. This will help us in later steps. Now they should dry out, but to speed it up you can just give it another good wipe with a cotton bud that's not covered in isopropyl. Now take your suction handle, place it on the screen firmly and pull up firmly while attempting to slide a pry tool in between the screen and the housing. Once you've got your first pry tool in the device, it's game over for it, and all you need to do is take something like this, like a little guitar pick, and slide it in between the 2 layers, removing the screen and popping up some of the clips. Now gently pull up on the device and you'll notice there's some resistance, and that's because there's a cable connecting the home button and fingerprint sensor to the device. So we're going to take a spudger and just lift up on the connector. Now unfortunately I'm not going to be able to show you that very well because I can barely see it, and trying to film it is a bit of a nightmare. But once you've disconnected that cable, you should be able to open the screen a bit more. Now there will still be some resistance, and that's because of these connectors holding the screen in, but we'll deal with those in a bit. Now you want to switch over to a Phillips 000 bit, and that's to remove the majority of the screws in the iPhone SE, as they are predominantly Phillips 000. Speaking of things we're going to remove, the first bracket to come off is going to be this metal bracket right here. It's just held in with 2 Phillips that I'm going to unscrew now. And I can't stress this enough that you need to keep your screws as organised as possible, and it will just make everything a lot easier. So once those 2 screws are removed, you can literally just pull up on the bracket with a pair of tweezers. Now the reason that was the first thing that we removed is to get to this connector right here, and this is the one that supplies power to the phone through the battery. So to disconnect that, just place your spudger here and unclip it. The reason we are disconnecting the battery first is to make sure that when we're disconnecting any of the other components that we're not going to short anything out. The next step is to remove another similar looking bracket at the top, this one here, to get to the display connectors. It will just make it a lot easier not having to hold the screen up while you're working on the device. And just repeat the same steps. Use your tweezers to pick up this little metal bracket. Now using the same technique, we can just pop up these 3 connectors, which are for the LCD, backlight and camera, front facing that is. And now we can finally get that massive screen out the way. From this point on, it's literally just removing every single component until you're left with a bare housing. Just remember, again, please keep your screws nice and organised. After many hours and a messy workbench, we finally have a working iPhone SE in a space grey house. Actually, we've got tune up, but this one is now working, so I'm going to seal it up using the pentalobe screws here, and you don't have to do this. I want to use it before the new screen comes. Yeah, so I'm just going to seal it up, hopefully set up the phone, and we should be all good. Done. Cool. Alright, cool. Bye.